Save T'Challa, we need a recast. Chat would agree, and I truly believe that. Stories untold, I pray that we get to unfold. Don't kill him, we don't need to see that. A black man is king, I think that is crucial. If not for the grown-ups, the kids should move you. Representation, let it multiply. Stop telling the stories how legacies die. We can explore the world of Wakanda by addition and not replacement. 1.3 billion, how was that? And I'm making a statement. Being pigeonholed to a role like there could be only one is deflating. Man, it's a mindset that ain't died yet, cause of lack of seeing our faces. Sure, we can be the queen of the nation. Women should feast, we want elevation. Now, wouldn't it be dope if they rose up together without doing something as cold as erasing them? We got respect for Ryan and Nate. They doing their best, they stuck in the middle, but I hope they think about what is at stake. Don't rush it, but please let the saga continue. Doubling down on Black Death is a trope we no longer want to handle. Wakanda forever, T'Challa forever. It's never been about the mantle. What is we saying? This ain't about Phantom and getting my way. It's all for the love, it's not for the hate. No matter what people are trying to say, we cast T'Challa. We cast T'Challa. Save T'Challa, we need a recast. Chat would agree, and I truly believe that. Stories untold, I pray that we get to unfold. Don't kill him, we don't need to see that. A black man is king, I think that is crucial. If not for the grown-ups, the kids should move you. Representation, let it multiply. Stop telling the stories how legacies die. We can explore the world of Wakanda by addition and not replacement. 1.3 billion, how was that? And I'm making a statement. Being pigeonholed to a role like there could be only one is deflating. Man, it's a mindset that ain't died yet, cause of lack of seeing our face. Save T'Challa, we need a recast. Chat would agree, and I truly believe that. Stories untold, I pray that we get to unfold. Don't kill him, we don't need to see that. A black man is king, I think that is crucial. If not for the grown-ups, the kids should move you. Representation, let it multiply. Stop telling the stories how legacies die. We can explore the world of Wakanda by addition and not replacement. 1.3 billion, how was that? And I'm making a statement. Being pigeonholed to a role like there could be only one is deflating. Man, it's a mindset that ain't died yet, cause of lack of seeing our faces. Sure, we can be the queen of the nation. Women should feast, we want elevation. Now, wouldn't it be...
Okay. Tell me if you can hear me. You should be able to hear me now. We should all be... You should be able to hear me. Yeah. Shit's good now. All right. Anyway, my apologies. I always do that shit. My pod track is not on at my desk. It's at the other desk. And typically, I will have... someone in here with me that will turn it on, but it is just myself in here today, so sorry. But anyway, we're all good. Like I said, great opening. I love that song. I've always loved that song. It's always going to be recast T'Challa. One of my favorite lines in there is, it's not about the mantle. It's never been about the mantle. So I love it. So with that news that has come out this week, I feel like that was appropriate to open up with. Obviously, we talked about it last night on the Pantheon stream. I will talk about it again on my own today just a little bit, and then I will talk about it a little bit later on with a couple of other content creators that feel similar, that feel the same way that we've all felt for the past 4 years, that everybody's just waking up to. So anyway, we'll get into all of those things. Like I said, I appreciate every single one of you being here. Johnny, I see you. D Stizzle, appreciate it. Naries, Xavier Phoenix, Andre, Professor Film Fan, see everybody in there. Zang Beto, Raptor Club, appreciate all you guys being in the stream this evening. Patrick Andrews, appreciate you being here as well. So I appreciate all you guys being here. So let's get into the news. And before we get into the news, I guess little just brief life update before we get into anything. As you guys know, I've been saying I was moving. I have moved into my new home. Still getting everything set up in here. Like, this is not how this is the final look of the studio within the camera is going to look. I still have some things I want to change. Get all that updated and things like that. As far as the scheduling for streams go, I wanted to jump into that, kind of been wanting to talk to you guys about that. We are going to go back once again to the daily streams, Monday through Friday, and those streams will either take place, well, I'm looking at doing it midday. I'm looking at doing it, which I live Central Standard Time, so it'd be about probably 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, 2 or 1 Central Standard Time, and if I don't do it around that time, it would be around the time that I'm doing, around like 7 or 8 Central Standard Time. But it's going to go back Monday through Friday. As far as the scheduling goes, my schedule has completely freed up. I am free from the corporate, I said this last night, I'm free from the corporate 9 to 5 bullshit. I don't have to do that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. I still work, but it's not a corporate 9 to 5 job. I work when I want to work, how I want to work, as much as I want to work, which gives me the time to put into YouTube and which I've been wanting to do, put into YouTube and really build this community more, build on the videos and things like that. More live streams, more, just edited videos as well. And all those things, and try to get this channel where I want this channel to be, to where this is ultimately what I'm doing as a job, to where without hesitation, I can come into the studio if I need to, and if some news drops, a trailer drops, or anything, I can, at the drop of a dime, come in the studio and either record a video or go live to talk about whatever's going on. So my schedule is completely free on that, so I'm definitely happy to be able to do that, and then to be able to spend more time with this community, build this community. That is the goal here. That is the 2025 goal for YouTube. And I've just overall said I'm not really a New Year's resolution person. I'm really never done that, but I am putting a lot of effort into 2025. I feel like this is the year for me personally. I don't know about everybody else. I'm spread that positivity, energy all your way, but this is the year for me personally where I really want to make things that I've wanted to happen. And I'm not saying that's about to come quickly or anything like that, but if I can put the time and effort into it that I now have available, I believe that it can be very successful. So it is something that I really want to do. So I appreciate all of you guys being here, all my day ones that have been here, all my new people that have come and found the channel, that have followed me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, all those things. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. So we'll get into the news and things that are going on here. The first thing we'll get in. Hold on. Sorry. 1 second. Do not get pets. I apologize. I can't pull my entire leg up, but just to give you a synopsis of what I've been dealing with today, my fucking leg is all bandaged up. Don't get pets. My fucking dogs today, fucking insane because of them. My cats today, insane. So, don't get pets. They're like fucking children. All right. News. Let's get into it. So, I saw this first on Instagram. And when I saw it on Instagram, I was like, I'm not really into this. You guys know I'm never into a lot of the reboots and things like that, especially when we want to reboot it and do an all-female cast and things like that and take it down a completely different rabbit hole. So let's read the article that CBR put out. Disney Plus is looking to reboot Shia LaBeouf's Holes. Now, I grew up on Holes. Holes came out when I was, I believe, in elementary school. One of my favorite movies to date. I still love this film. I love Shia LaBeouf. I've always been a Shia LaBeouf fan. I've been a Shia LaBeouf fan since Even Stevens on Disney, the Even Stevens movie. Disturbia is one of my favorite Shia LaBeouf films. I love him in Transformers. I think without him in Transformers is why Mark Wahlberg's films are ass. If you like them, that's fun. But I love Shia LaBeouf. I've always loved Shia LaBeouf. Even the crazy moments with Shia LaBeouf, I love Shia LaBeouf. So this has always been one of my favorite films. Anytime that it is on or I can find it, I am watching it. So when I heard that they were rebooting it and it's going to be a series, this is not a movie, this is going to be a series on Disney+. This is what CBR had to say. More than 2 decades after Holes was released in movie theaters, the feature film by Walt Disney Pictures is set to be rebooted for the small screen. Per Variety, it's been reported that in 2023, the 2003 movie Holes is getting rebooted by Disney+. The streamer has reportedly put in the pilot order for a reboot series that based on the original book on the same name by the author Louis Schaefer. The new reboot is not expected to be connected to the feature film adaptation, as the official longline for the plot reads: in this reimagining of the beloved 1998 book from Louis Satcher, a teenage girl sent to a detention camp where the ruthless warden forces the campers to dig holes for mysterious purpose. It's just retelling the exact same story that we all already know. The whole Stanley Yelnats, the Madame Zeroni, the curse, the holes, everything that, so why the lake dried up. It's just that, but with girls. And I'm sure they're going to add some different things. Obviously, with it coming from the book, it's going to be like the Harry Potter rebooted series that's going to be on HBO Max. There's going to be a lot more in that series that we did not see in the films that they're going to be able to put in because it's a series from the books. So maybe that's the same thing with this. I still don't give a fuck. And the reason I don't give a fuck is simply because you're gender swapping. And I just don't want to see a gender swapped whole story. I just don't. Now, if you were to keep the same Stanley Yelnats and keep the same characters and things like that, and maybe it was a series, maybe I'd probably check it out. And, because again, you get to dive into things that we didn't get to see in the film that are in the book. I've never read the book. I don't know anything about the book. But I assume, obviously, like with any book that is turned into a movie, you cannot adapt everything into a film. So it gives you more to adapt into a series with what they're doing. Again, I don't care because of the gender swaps. It goes on to say a series could allow for more exploration of the whole story compared to the feature film. Right? Yeah, the original book followed a boy named Stanley Yelnats who gets incarcerated for a theft he did not commit in a juvenile detention camp. While there, he and other prisoners are forced to dig holes all day long in a dried up lake bed when they begin to uncover the dark secrets of their new home, Camp Green Lake. The book has sold several million copies and won National Book Awards along a Newbery Medal. And it goes on to say author Louis Schaefer wrote the script for the Disney movie adaptation, which was directed by Andrew Davis. Controversial actor Shia LaBeouf led the cast as Stanley Yelnats. The film also featuring stars like Sigourney Weaver, John Voight, Henry Winkle, Tim Blake Nelson is in that. Tim Blake Nelson. The movie also starred Cleo Thomas. Cleo Thomas, famously on this channel, known for his terrible recast T'Challa take. I wonder how he feels now with all that news. I wonder if he had the same revelation everyone else had. Brendan Jefferson, Jake M. Smith, and Brian Cotton holding a 74% score on Rotten Tomatoes. The movie earned over $71 million in the box office during its theatrical run. No sequels were ever made for Holes, but it has been hinted in recent years that the film could be rebooted in 2023. Holes producer Mike, spoke about the possible reboot series in a Collider interview. Nothing at the time. I think they're talking about rebooting it as a television series. He said, I think it's a tribute to the material and a tribute to the people who made it, he added in the reboot. And this is all coming from Variety. So this is coming from a credible source, and this is not something I'd put past Disney anyway. They love rebooting. They love telling the exact same stories. It's like no one over at Disney has a new creative idea or new thoughts or let's try this or let's do that. Let's play it safe. Let's just reboot everything and make it either live action or a retelling or something like that. So I'm sure this is very real. It's coming from Variety, and I'm sure we will hear more about it. And I don't really expect a lot of people to truly, really be interested in this. And if you are, again, that's fun for you. I am not. If this was told from Stanley Yelnatz's point of view, and it's not going to be told from Stanley Yelnatz's point of view, it's going to be told from a different perspective, a different perspective altogether. So, but if you're into this, you let me know. As always, down in the comments, if you liked the first Holes, I don't know how old most of you were when that first Holes came out. Like I said, I was in elementary, so it's been a childhood film of mine. If you're a Shia LaBeouf fan or you just done with Disney's bullshit altogether, let me know if you'll be checking out the Holes reboot. We do have another here. Let's see. Andre says he's going to pass on the Holes movie. Raptor Cloak said Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results each time. Yeah, that would be Disney. Cornelius said use protection while digging and swamping holes. Okay. Well, on that one, we're definitely going to move to the next topic there. And the next topic that we're going to move to is, I guess I'll go ahead since this tab is the one that is next to it. I had no specific order that I was going to do this in, but we can go ahead and talk about Miss Cynthia Erivo. So Cynthia Erivo has recently come out. She did an interview here where she said that she would like to play Storm. She would like to play Storm in the MCU, and there have been so many people on Twitter, and there have been a lot of people also on Twitter that have been against it, but there have been so many people on Twitter that have been like, oh, this is great. I support this wholeheartedly. Like, I don't see the problem with this. Marvel, go ahead and sign her up. She's perfect casting, blah, 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 blah. And I want to tell you something about those people that are saying that. It's not only are they wrong, but it is an issue we have as in this space of Hollywood, movies, TV shows, and things like that. Whenever there is a popular black face in Hollywood for the moment, and Cynthia's face is popular at the moment, she just played Elphaba and Wicked. So of course her face is all over the place right now. A lot of people went and saw Wicked. So many people were in the studio or in the theater singing along with it, posting TikToks and things like that, painting their face as Elphaba. So people love Wicked. So of course Cynthia's face is everywhere right now, and that is not an issue. But the issue with that is whenever society sees a black face and that black face is popular, that then black face gets pasted on every black project. Well, Cynthia Erivo, she's black, she fits, she's popular right now. Let's have her play Storm. She's and the people that are saying it are a lot of people that don't know anything about the character. I'm sure have never read a comic about Storm, know nothing about Storm, nothing about her ethnic background or anything like that. One of the things that I have seen on Twitter is, well, let me play this for those of you that may not have heard what Cynthia said. But this is what she said about wanting to play Storm.
Is there another dream role out there that you want to manifest right here, right now?
I really want to play Storm. I know it sounds frivolous, but I think we haven't uncovered how grand she is and all of that inner turmoil that she has. So I think there's a world in which we could, do something like that.
I'm curious to know what Cynthia knows about the character as well. Is it just wanting to play Storm because, you know, pop culture, you know, we know who Storm is due to Marvel. Marvel has become a part of just everyone's, you know, it's a part of pop culture due to the MCU. So I don't know if she knows anything about Storm. I don't know what inner turmoil she is wanting to tackle, but I don't support this, and I don't endorse Cynthia being Storm. But I'll tell you somebody who does, and that was Bo DeMayo. And when Bo put that on Twitter, that this would be perfect casting, you know, sign her up or whatever the hell he said, it, to me, shined light on why we got the Storm we got in X-Men 97. Not to say that Storm was just completely awful, because there were glimmering moments of greatness with Storm. I thought the flight scene where she got her powers back, fantastic. Storm, bring the forecast in the first episode, fantastic. But outside of that, those are the only two things. Those are the two glimmering moments that I can remember where Storm really stood out in that series. Even in What If, you know, the episode they had with her was cool. I liked it. Well, I'm not gonna say I liked the episode. I liked Storm. It was fine. But it shined light on why we got the Storm we got with Bo. Bo obviously doesn't understand this character either, because for him to endorse Cynthia playing Storm in live action, this is supposed to be a reboot of the X-Men. You know, we've got Halle Berry playing Storm inaccurately. We got girl that played Storm in the Fox rebooted X-Men version that played her inaccurately. And then you want to endorse Cynthia Erivo and have her be the next inaccurate character or actress to play Storm? If we're getting a rebooted X-Men universe within the MCU and we're promised this and this and that, and the X-Men saga, Mutant Saga, next after Secret Wars is supposed to be this, and we're supposed to be getting sprinkles of mutants here and there before then, I want this shit done right, especially when you're playing with another black character. You've already fucked up, and I'm going to get to that shit. You've already fucked up with the black character. Now you want to play and fuck around with another black character. You, Bo DeMayo, did what you did in X-Men 97 by sidelining her, making her the mammy, and everything else that we heard on Twitter from a lot of different voices. So we don't need to hear you talk about what anybody's perfect casting is for Storm in the MCU, unless my choice for Storm is DeWanda DeWise. I'm not even that keen on Jodie playing her like everyone else is. One of the things that I've also seen is that somebody made the comparison, which I already knew this, about Cynthia being, you know, anti-black. And Jodie is that sometimes too, making that same comparison. So that is why that's not really my choice for Storm. I did recently see this one. She's a wrestler, right? To my knowledge, I believe. I don't know anything about wrestling, but to my knowledge, I believe she's a wrestler. Not to say that a wrestler couldn't do the role, you know, with some acting lessons, some voice dialect, and all that kind of thing. She could do it. I think this right here is a great cosplay, and this is just a cosplay. This is not with the MCU budget or anything behind it. This is just a cosplay. So I think that this is great. Again, not a choice of mine, but I think she looks great. Again, the ones I've seen of Cynthia, the fan art and AI stuff they've done of her as Storm, no, not at all. But I think somebody that put it the best was Sis here. She put out a video just kind of saying why Cynthia, and this is no hate on Cynthia. This is not any hate on Cynthia Erivo or anything like that. I don't dislike Cynthia Erivo. I think she's got a powerhouse voice. I can listen to her sing anything, honestly. When she was on Jimmy Fallon and they played that game and she turned different songs into different... Great. I think Cynthia's great. I really do. But as far as having her step into an MCU role as Storm, no. And again, that goes back to just people saying yes, because she's just the popular black face at the moment. But there are other black faces out there that would love to be Storm that I think would fit the accuracy and the qualifications of being Storm.
what you did in Wicked, it's a no for me. And I think it's for a very valid reason.
Let's go back.
Love you, Cynthia Erivo, down. Love what you did in Wicked, it's a no for me. And I think it's for very valid reasons that you actually have to listen to process. I'm not too much to hold an actor's origins against anybody, but a while ago I saw a very valid take. And they were kind of mentioning how she has a history of talking poorly on like African Americans and African American culture. I really need y'all to tune your ears in because it's not the entire reason for the no, but I think it's a piece of a lens that's important when we're discussing the casting of Storm. If you look at Cynthia Erivo and you like Storm, the only reason why you're doing it is because she's a dark-skinned girly. And there should be no shame in admitting that, because Storm is a graciously tall bad bitch. More importantly, she's a black immigrant in America. And there's a specific relation when you're casting live action superheroes that you want to try to get on par. You have to get people that don't just look the part, but feel the part. And if the MCU is trying to do some big rebrand comeback, Storm being a black immigrated African raised in Harlem, New York City, that's some shit that you really gotta find somebody that gets it. I know I sound crazy, but there's a different depth in understanding a comic character outside of the appeal of the black mutant from X-Men or the African mutant in X-Men. Especially when we're talking about X-Men, comic characters aren't just a form of representation visually, they're a form of representation in the identity. And I think with the X-Men, there are passes. You look at somebody like Hugh Jackman with his portrayal of Wolverine. He may not be a 5'1" Canadian, but the complexities in challenging his aggression to tell a bigger story for Logan. That's the reason why Till You're 90 is a hit joke. Then there are incredible visual castings that have horrible people. Someone who doesn't represent the beliefs of Wonder Woman but has the look. Somebody who was obviously only casted for the look, thus so was granted the platform of an iconic character but allowed a monstrosity to occur. You look at the original Avengers and you understand why they were such a hit. And Robert Downey Jr., especially with Iron Man,
She's killing every point she's making here. Every point.
had a piece of Tony Stark in him to the point where he became Tony Stark. I don't see a piece of Storm in Cynthia Erivo. I think, especially when we cast the new generation of X-Men, it's an incredible opportunity to cast based off the actual identities.
Right.
And it's an incredible opportunity for MCU to actually invest in new talent the same way they did with the original Avengers, even though some of them was real famous, and Tom Holland. While she's an incredible talent, African or African American, dark-skinned, tall, undiscovered, or deserves to be more discovered talent out there for Storm and who she is.
Right. Like I said, she was killing every point she made out there, and I completely agree with that. When we are stepping into this new mutant saga and things like that, there is accuracy I want done, especially on our characters. And on our characters, on the black characters. I want the accuracy there. I would like, to pull in somebody. It doesn't have to be, I mentioned last night, when they were talking about bringing an unknown actor into play T'Challa, which I'm not against. I'm not against an unknown actor coming in to play T'Challa at all, because we've had unknown actors. I'm not going to say Tom Hiddleston was completely unknown, but he wasn't known the way Tom Hiddleston is known today before he took on the role of Loki. Chris Hemsworth was not known like he is known today before he took on the role of Thor. Same with Tom Holland. And even in 2008, we knew who Robert Downey Jr., but you compare Downey in 2008 to who Downey is today. So those MCU roles have made them who they are. So I'm not against an unknown person coming in and playing T'Challa at all. The same thing with Storm. But when we are talking about the characters and things like that, I really do want, because they have been treated so carelessly thus far, and some people may disagree with me, and if you are, then we're looking at two completely different MCUs, but the black characters within the MCU have not been treated with respect thus far. You've killed the black character. Sam Wilson is a derivative character. You've got Riri Williams, who is also another derivative character, but has been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back to the point where her show is going to take place after Wakanda Forever, a movie that is now 2 years old. By the time her show comes out, it's going to be 3 or 4 years old. No one's going to give a fuck, if they even gave a fuck about her in Wakanda Forever. So you've just dropped the ball on that character as well. Monica is misplaced. You had the chance to do a Monica show. I guess maybe it was on the table. If that rumor was even true, taken off of the table, and now we're not doing a Monica show, and Monica is somewhere and some people are saying, calm down, we're going to see her in Avengers. We don't know how big of a role she's going to have in Avengers either. I will say this though, if you look at the casting for Avengers Doomsday that New Rockstars put out, how many black faces do you see in Avengers so far who's casted in Doomsday? So when it comes to the black characters, I do want them to be treated with respect, and Cynthia is just not the one to put in the role as Storm. Again, my choice is DeWanda DeWise. I think she's great. I think she is great. She's already expressed interest in the role. She has said that she has wanted to play the role. I know that others have expressed interest in the role too, but I think when casting for the X-Men,
Love you, Cynthia Erivo. Down. Love
they are
what you did.
going to have to really take this with care. So everyone that is endorsing Cynthia Erivo, no, not just no. What does she say in her? Hell no, 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 no. So let me know what you guys think, though. If you support the Cynthia Erivo as a Storm that's going around, let me know why. If you do not support it, let me also know why you don't support it. We'll move here to the next tab. I'll read some of these comments, though. Let's see. Zane said he's good. Yeah, I feel you there. Andre said Jodie Turner-Smith. D. Sizzle says she ain't it. Wrong look and energy. Wrong look, wrong energy, wrong all of it. Like, no. The guy, Merck, said no Black American should play Storm. Johnny Washington said, I want Jamie Lawson or DeWanda DeWise to play Storm. Yes, Jamie Lawson as well. There is that rumor that she is supposed to be or is in the Storm that they are wanting or looked at or what have you. We haven't heard anything else about that as of now, but yeah, that's another choice as well. Xavier said exactly. They always limit our choices. Others deserve a chance at the role. Yeah, completely agree with that. Raptor Cloak said, have never seen her work, but I'd like for Storm to be darker and bigger like DeWanda DeWise or Jade Cargill, for example. Raymond said, I wouldn't mind a Black American playing Storm, but I don't want someone from the continent. Let's see. Raymond also said, where are the mods? Because y'all be letting idiots in the comments. Some of these people need to be banned. That is something else I'll get on as far as like getting people control in the chat and things like that. Some of the day ones that have been here, I'm going to reach out to you guys, see if you'd be interested in that. But Black Cinema Critics, appreciate you being here, said not my Storm either. Xavier said, Bo, just keep it on mute. Bo's takes. When he's writing for the X-Men, it's great, depending on which X-Men. I thought, and again, I'm not backtracking. I'm going to continue to say X-Men 97 to me is still phenomenal. It is still phenomenal. But again, depending on which X-Men he is writing, he writes phenomenally for them. But yeah, Bo's done just a lot of talking. D. Stizzle said Aurora's father is Black American, mother is African. Correct. The guy Merck said, let real Africans play them. Grand Regent Thag, that goes back to who her father is. Grand Regent Thrag said, Jade, yeah, she can't act though. Yeah, again, I've heard that too. Sure she, what is it, has she acted in anything? I just saw that picture of her, and I was like, oh, she's, I've seen her before, because I knew she was a wrestler. But the cosplay was great. The cosplay looked really, really good on her. So is it like a Batista thing? Can she be taught? Grand Regent Thrag said, what about Coco Jones? No. I do like her. I do. I just couldn't, can't see her as Storm. I can't see her as Storm. Like, Storm, man, and Coco is fine. But Storm has to be like beyond fine. Goddess level. Like, it has to hit on every point of the looks, like the body, the attitude, the way that you take on the role, and I don't want her speaking the way Halle Berry was speaking, or the way that I always forget her name, the way that the girl in the rebooted Fox version was speaking. I still want the Sands of Time, heed my. I want all that shit. I want all that packaged together. And I know that's asking a lot, but I want all that. And I like Coco is pretty. She is. I don't see her as Storm. I can't see her as Storm. And every time I think now of her, I'm thinking Hillary and the Bel Air reboot, and that pushes me even further away from her as Storm. Let's see. Latoya said, my choice to play Storm. Who's your choice? What did you? She said, my choice is to play Storm. DeWanda the Wise, Jodie Turner-Smith, Kiki Lane. I always pronounce her name wrong. Her last name, Anna. Yeah. Tiana Taylor. That's one I have not seen as Storm. I've seen a lot of Tiana Taylor for Vixen in the DCU. And I definitely support the Tiana Taylor's Vixen in the DCU. I think that she'd be great. The fan art, have you seen the fan art of her as Vixen? I have not seen a choice of her as Storm. That's an interesting one. Let's see. Grace said no, 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 and no. Let's see. D Sizzle said Cynthia looks nothing like Aurora to me, nothing like her. It's not, don't want that for her. I'm skipping down some. JW said she looks too manly. Are we talking about the Jade Girl, or who are we talking about? Critical Mass said, does DeWanda fit that profile though? And that's what I'm saying. I know. Like DeWanda, but hold on. Now I gotta go pull up, because there's that one. Is it DeWise or Wise? Okay. Where is, like, here she gives that energy to me for sure. I think this, like, you give her the white hair, you put her in the X-Men suit, she fits it to me. Now, does she fit all of those points that I don't know that anyone does? As I said, that's a lot to ask, because it is a fictional goddess character that we are trying to bring to life. But the closest we can get to that, that would be great. And I think DeWanda is pretty close. Johnny said, what happened to a toad when it gets wet? That shit. Terrible line. DJF and I said Storm needs to have theater experience. D Sizzle said Demise. Grand Region Thrag. She's a little too old, I think. DeWise? Her Wise? Why do I keep calling her DeWise? DeWanda? I never supported the Janelle Monáe one. I was never on board with the Janelle Monáe one. Critical Mass said DeWanda would be good fit, though, to be fair. Only thing she is lacking is height. How tall is she? So when it comes to height, is Jodie the only one that fits? Coco Jones is pretty tall too, but is Jodie the only one that fits in the height arena then? Because Jodie's pretty tall. Jodie's pretty tall. So is she the only one that's fitting? She actually just did a video. She was actually just on Jennifer Hudson's show, and she did the whole come down the hallway awkward while they sing to you. Coco's 5'10". Yeah, this.
Jodie Turner-Smith. Say, hey girl, we're glad you're at the happy place. Jodie Turner-Smith.
But see, I've not been against Jodie Turner outside of the whole anti-black shit. I have not been against her when it comes to looks as Storm. Because she'd definitely kill it as Storm. Yeah, see, critical mass, yeah. And she's anti-black. That's the thing. That's the thing though. But she fits when it comes to looks. Like he also said, Jodie fits physically, but she lacks charisma and real acting talent, and she's anti-black. I like Jodie. She is one of my choices. It's just, yeah. So, and that's a better picture. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Jodie fits. You put her in the who does that? Who's doing all these AIs of Aldous Hodge and Damson Idris and whoever's doing those? I'm trying to see something. Do an AI of Dewanda as Storm, and let me see one of, if you know how to do that, because I don't, of Jodie as Storm. Even do one with Damson as T'Challa with either one of them as Storm, and Aldous as T'Challa with either one of them as Storm. That'd be dope. I'd like to see that. But I'd like to see some AI of them as Storm as well, so we can kind of get a look before the actual, before an actual look of what they could potentially look like in that role. Godtrees5 said, Coco's too young. We need a grown... yeah, and that's another point. I agree with that. I agree with that too. Coco is too young. I don't want a young Storm. I don't want an old Storm either, because Storm is also not an old woman. We need to remember that too. I know sometimes with the way that Storm is portrayed in X-Men 97 and her voice as this strong, wise, heed my commands voice, it's like people mistake, but she's not old. She's not old either. She's not young, but she's not old either. So I also don't want an old Storm. Let's see. Raymond said Joni Turner and Aldous Hodge would be great. It really would be a good look. Be a good look. Randy Back says she's a bunny hopper in my Umar voice. Johnny Washington said, I can't lie, Joni Turner and Aldous is the perfect match together. Rockb922 said Coco isn't grand/regal enough. Erivo would split the fan base. Marvel can't afford that right now. They need black women to rally behind her, especially black African women. And that is a very good point. Very good points on all of that. That is very true. Marvel does definitely, they can't afford a split in the fan base like that. And when it comes to the X-Men, you're not going to please everyone. So it's going to be split regardless when it comes to the X-Men, because you've got so many different fractions of people that are expecting this for the X-Men, that are expecting that for the X-Men, or it better be this for the X-Men. So you've got so many different people that are wanting so many different things for the X-Men. You're not going to be able to please everybody, and that's just with anything in life. So they're never going to be able to please everyone. But if they can just, what's the winning cures everything? There, just even in the Infinity Saga, I think we forget sometimes the Infinity Saga is not fucking perfect. There were films that came out that we hated. There were films that people complained about, but winning cures everything. The fact that the overall Infinity Saga is a win, no one's looking back and looking at the Infinity Saga like, so as long as they can really hit with the X-Men in that first film, really like whatever you do with them, it really hits home on all cylinders for everybody. If it's a W, what little complaints about the casting that are going on aren't really going to be heard. It's going to be a drift in the wind because, again, winning cures everything. So it's kind of like, you guys know I coach AAU basketball, and I always equate things from any sport, no matter what sport you play, will equate to real life. You'll deal with those things. So one of the things that in AAU basketball, we could have a shitty parents could be mad at me, for example. Somebody's mom, dad, whatever, could really be pissed at me because, oh, you set my son, or why did or something like that, or a decision I made, or whatever the fuck might have ticked them off that game. But say we win that motherfucker. No one's coming up to me after the game saying, well, why did you make that? Or why did you? If we would have lost that game, though, I would have heard it all. I would have heard everything. But we win that game, no one's talking to me about any of that shit. So it's the same thing. if Marvel can hit and win, no one's going to be in Marvel's ear like, oh, well, you should have done this with the X-Men, you should have done that. People are going to still be saying some things, but it's not going to be the headline news. Let's see. D Sizzle said, not too young or old, get a good 10 to 15 years of screen time. Yeah. Carolyn said, or I'm sorry, Carolina Boy 90 said, do you want Storm to be the same age as Scott and Jean? Because I think they're going for a young, no, I don't think that Storm, she's not really technically the same age as Scott and Jean. Jean, when she first came to the mansion, was found by Xavier. Jean is young. So going for a younger Jean, that makes sense. Not like we're not talking 12, 13, but going for a younger mid-teens, almost 20s Jean makes more sense. I could see that fitting into maybe what they're overall trying to do with the X-Men. Because like I said, and just comic wise, when Jean is found, she is not found at 30 or late 20s. That guy Merck said real Africans are going to play Storm, not fake Africans. Okay, that sentiment has been said quite a bit there. Let's put it this way: Marvel's going to put whoever the fuck they want in the role. Let's see. Okay, we'll move here to the next topic. The next topic is Jurassic World Rebirth. This is not a long topic because this is not. This is kind of I'm gonna debunk something really quick. The Jurassic World. There's been a lot of rumors going around about Jurassic World just simply because. Let me pull that up really quick. Simply because one of the makeup artists on Jurassic World put out a video where she was saying that it's going to be very, very brutal. It's going to it's going to be a lot of blood, gore, and possibly rated R and things like that. Well, we're not thinking that the film is going to be rated R at all. It doesn't fit into what they would want to do with Jurassic World in general. Thank you so much for the super Chi-Town. I'll get to that in just 1 second. It doesn't fit with what they want to do with Jurassic World at all. The last two Jurassic Parks were awful, god awful. And I love Jurassic Park. Huge dinosaur fan. I don't know. I feel like most kids grew up loving dinosaurs. I loved dinosaurs. I had still do on VHS, every single Land Before Time film. Every single Jurassic Park. I saw Jurassic Park 3 in theaters. I remember getting taken to that when I was younger. The original Jurassic Park is always and forever going to be my favorite. I like Jurassic Park 2. But I even liked the Jurassic World with Chris Pratt, the first one. That second one, the cloning shit with the little girl, I hated that. And then this last one that they did was just complete horseshit. So I'm really looking forward to this one though. I like Gareth Edwards. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Gareth Edwards directed Rogue One, right? Did he not? I really love Rogue One. So I know Gareth Edwards has done some things, the other things that people don't really care for, but I do like Gareth Edwards. So I do like the cast so far in this. Mahershala Ali is in it. You've got Scarlett Johansson that is in it. You've got some powerhouses in the film. And then, of course, you've got the powerhouse that is the dinosaurs in the film. And that is what a lot of people are going for. There's been a lot of set photos for Jurassic World that have shown a lot of the dinosaurs, like dead bodies and things like that. So it's going back into the vein of what the original Jurassic Park was, where we were seeing carcasses of the dinosaurs and things like that. And the dinosaurs eating the other dinosaurs and things like that. So obviously, you throw the people in there. Don't really know what the plot synopsis of this is going to be exactly yet, but this is what the makeup artist had to say. And again, this is where I'm going to say I don't think it's going to be rated R.
World movie is rated R. Whole idea for this new film is to be like the original Jurassic Park, but scarier. They are planning some excessive violence and gore. Be prepared for some brutal dino attacks. There are going to be many bloody scenes that might be too scary and graphic for younger audiences. They plan on making these scenes linger, like especially focusing on like the terror and the suffering of the victim. Like it won't be implied, there won't be some quick cutaway. As the poster suggests, be prepared for something wild. Also, can we just talk about this poster? I'm obsessed with like the eye and the crying. Oh, it's so cool. This will not be a bring your family, come see the dinosaur kind of film. This will be more like a horror film, more brutal than the other Jurassic films we've seen so far. I do feel like they've progressively gotten darker, but it's never earned an R rating. So there has to be something really particularly wild that makes it stand out from these other films. It comes out on July 2nd of 2025, and I cannot wait for more information. The film stars Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey. Come over here for more content and interact if you want more updates on the film.
Wait, I don't think it's going to be that at all. And when she said that the Jurassic Park films have gotten progressively more, she doesn't know, are gory, she doesn't know how they weren't rated R. I don't know what Jurassic Park movie she was watching, because no, I think what she's talking about when she's saying like it's going to be, they're trying to get back into the original Jurassic Park vein of what it was and things like that. Even in that wasn't a rated R thing. And I think what she's saying is more going to be like, we're going to see, like if you remember in, I keep hitting my screen. If you remember in Jurassic Park 3, when Dr. Grant and everyone was on if you are into those films, when everyone was on the plane and the plane crashed, once the plane crashed and the Spinosaurus pulled everyone out of the plane and they all ran, you could visibly see scrapes and blood and things on their faces and looked like they had just gotten into a plane wreck and trying to escape a fucking dinosaur. So it visually looked like they were being attacked. It visually looked like they were, running for their lives, from, everything visually looked like they were literally in danger. Let's fast forward to this last Jurassic Park with DeWanda. She is in the same scene, a plane. There are raptors chasing them though, and when the plane crashes, her and Chris Pratt get up, not a scratch on them, and the plane even lands in a lake and they're dry. So I think that it's things like that, like it's the visuals of getting back to what the original Jurassic Park really felt like, feeling like you were in a different prehistoric era, feeling like the dinosaurs, because you go back and watch the original Jurassic Park, that CGI to this day holds up. That shit still looks real. So it's like, I think that's what they're saying when they say get back to all of this. She's saying this is not going to be bring your family to see the dinosaurs type of film. I don't believe, again, that we're going to see dinosaurs viciously ripping human beings apart and things like that. I think it's still going to be a family friendly, just like the first Jurassic Park. The first Jurassic Park is still, to me, family film. I don't see it as horror. But yeah, I don't believe it's going to be a rated R film. I think it's still going to be that PG-13 rating like all the rest of them. And it'll just be back in the same vein of what the original Jurassic Park films were trying to touch on. I don't think it's going to be anything more than that. I want to show this too, though. This is not from Jurassic Park Rebirth or anything like that. But somebody on Twitter has been playing with the original Jurassic Park and how dinosaurs are supposed to accurately look. Obviously, some things have come out which have crushed my heart. Obviously, so like I said, I grew up loving dinosaurs, so the sounds and things I used to hear watching Land Before Time or watching Jurassic Park or whatever are not the sounds that I guess dinosaurs made, and that just really fucking, I don't like that. Like the quacking, I don't like it. But this is fucking terrifying. I'll share this with you before I even share the video. I'm terrified of birds. I don't care what kind of bird it is. It can be a parakeet. It can be a normal. I don't care what kind of bird it is. I am terrified of birds. Like really, it's a real. I hate birds. And it comes because I was attacked when I was younger. So Won't go into the attack, but I was attacked when I was younger, so I hate birds. So this is fucking terrifying to me to see these motherfuckers as birds. Like I said, somebody on Twitter has been playing with the original Jurassic Park, and they put accurately what a velociraptor would have looked like, and they are just giant fucking birds. And we all obviously know that birds are just descendants of dinosaurs. That shit's scary. Now that's scary. That's not how I want the dinosaurs to look in Jurassic Park, though. I wonder if that's gonna get copywritten because of the sound. Maybe even the video. But it's augmentated, right? Because they're not the real dinosaurs from the movie?
Jimmy, what is it? Deinonychus.
Look at that big ass fucking bird. Hell no. No. He said he's working on one for the T-Rex and what T-Rex would look like. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, hate birds, but I'm trying. Where's that other one he did? He did one where they were, yeah, this one. Hold on, is this the video? Where's the video? Hold on, I want to see that video. He did the video where they were in the, well, I'm not scrolling through all that shit, but he did a video where they were, the other video where they were in the lobby of the, there it is. Yeah, that shit. It's a big ass fucking bird. So, but yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to Jurassic Park Rebirth. Like I said, July is a really big year for, or a big month for films. You got, no matter what people are telling you, Fantastic Four is not moving. You have Fantastic Four coming out in July. You've got Superman coming out in July. You've got Rebirth coming out in July. You've got some really good films coming out just overall in 2025, but some good shit in July as well. So let me know if you're looking forward to Jurassic Park Rebirth, if you care about the rating, or do you think that the last few were as brutal as some people are thinking they were, or do you think that they could go back to what those first 3 Jurassic Park films were? Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments. Xavier said that's creepy. Yeah, it is creepy. Does a chicken head count as a bird? Yes. Henry, my producer Henry, when we were in middle school, his grandfather, and now we lived in the city. We lived in, neighborhood, everything. Anyway, Henry had a rooster. That motherfucker was so fucking, that thing was so mean. It attacked his grandfather's leg. His grandfather had to get stitches in his leg and all this kind of shit like that. When I would go over there, I have to tell Henry, he's got to go up. You got to lock him up before I can come in or anything like that. Like, I hate birds. So yes, chicken, any type of bird, if it classifies as a bird, I don't like it. Andre said, my brother hates birds too. Granger in fact says because when you look birds in their eye, it's nothing but instincts. Oh, I don't look them in the eye. Dan the man said, what about giant birds? Yes, all giant birds. Ostriches, I would never fuck with them. Like, what? Can't they get up to like 60, 40 miles per hour or something like that? nigga, no. That basically, an ostrich is basically that shit on the, no. Understanding said it's still some birds that look prehistoric. There are. Like, there's this one I saw at the fucking zoo. Where is that bitch? Hold on. Because when I saw this thing, I was like, hell no. I don't even know what it's called. I'm just going to type in blue giant bird. Because that's what the fuck it was. And that's what the fuck it is right there. That thing definitely looks prehistoric. Look at the... Nigga, I don't fuck with birds. Like, I just don't. No. What is this thing called? The cassowary? No. I'm not fucking with the cassowary. Cassowary can have it all. So, yeah, there are some birds that still look fucking prehistoric. Carolina Boy 90 said, turn that bird into a 2-piece dinner. Granian Thag said... Yeah, the shoe bill. I know what the shoe bill is. That thing that does the fucking clanking with its, that looks like it looks angry. Yeah. Yeah, I know the shoe bill. Yeah, that thing. Looks angry. Look at it. No. Yeah, it's the thing that clacks. Nope. Xavier said, yeah, that shoe bill stork is wild looking. DR said, things were a nightmare is Far Cry 3. Imagine one in real life. No. Yeah, so no, I hate birds, but all kinds. All right, next thing we'll move to, let me see. Yeah, the next thing we'll move to was the recasting, I believe. We did the first, we did Holes, we did Jurassic World, and Cynthia, so yeah. George Miller did say that he is interested in doing, or he has shown interest in directing Thor 5 and Hulk, and this is supposedly a World War Hulk, so just quickly here, it says, last night, a listing on Production Weekly had World War Hulk shooting in 2025. Then they being World of Real, I decided to reach out to a few of my sources and confirm a bit of news. And what I got was quite a lot of information. Although plans are not official at the moment, the goal is to indeed shoot the film this year. Mark Ruffalo is set to come back. Mark Ruffalo is set to come back in the titular role, and his character will have a very busy year as the coming February Captain America Brave New World will set up World War Hulk for him in a few months later. Thunderbolts will be the connection branch for the character's first solo movie. And what I think that means, and a lot of people are kind of just speculating out there, because obviously this is not official from Marvel Studios, so anything that is out there is speculation at this point. But World War Hulk has been on the table, the rumor table, for quite some time. This would be Mark Ruffalo's first solo MCU film. A lot of people have always said the reason they don't do a solo MCU Hulk film is because of the budget and how much it would cost and blah, 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 blah. I think Mark Ruffalo is even on notes saying that himself. But we do know that World War Hulk is something that Marvel Studios is, again, rumored to be, had been looking at for quite some time. So when they say that it sets up, Brave New World sets it up, we do know that the leader, we know that Captain America, Sam Wilson, is Captain America, is going up against a bunch of villains that are not his own. Obviously, Red Hulk is not a villain of Sam Wilson. The leader is not a villain of Sam Wilson either. These are both villains of the Hulk. If you take yourself back to the original rumors, I'm talking before this film was rewritten 46 times. If you take yourself back to the original rumors of what Brave New World was going to be, there was at one point Brave New World when it was Serpent Society, or not Serpent Society, when it was New World Order. It was going to have... It had Sebastian Stan was supposed to be in it, obviously, as Bucky, which made sense. And they also had Moon Knight in there. That did not make sense. But again, that's old. That's real old. And if you take yourself back to maybe, I don't know, about the 45th time it was written, some of those rumors had changed. So a lot has changed with this film. A lot has been, rewritten, reshot. They've done test screenings for Brave New World that are still getting shitty responses back. The film comes out in less than 40 or 40 something days, 40 days or something like that. It's February 14th, I believe, is when it comes out. Ticket sales go on sale this month, next week or something like that. I think that's what they put out. And they're expecting the budget, they're expecting them to make 97 to 180 mil, I think they said, the opening weekend or something like that domestically. I don't know, but the film I do not think is going to be successful at all. I don't see a lot of people going for Sam Wilson. I did have people tell me, oh, I am going for Sam, and there are a lot of people that may be. I haven't seen a lot of people having the conversations about I'm going for Sam Wilson's Captain America. I haven't really even seen conversations about people going to see this film, but I would take an educated guess and say if people are wanting to go see this film, it's because Marvel has shown you nothing but in the promotion for this film, Harrison Ford turning into the Red Hulk. You go to the trailer of him at the podium turning into the Red Hulk. That was enough to get me excited for the film, excited enough to go see the Red Hulk. Nothing that Sam has necessarily done has gotten me excited to wanting to see Sam. And this is not Darius just hates Anthony Mackie or Darius is trying to shit on. No. I would like for this black character to be, this derivative black character, I would like for this black character to be successful. But at the end of the day, when you are hearing rumors that Chris Evans is coming back as Captain America, does that not diminish what, if you have in Avengers 5, after we've just watched Brave New World and you're trying to convince the audience, not just the normal audience, but even me as a hardcore Marvel fan, trying to convince me that Sam Wilson, this powerless man that with no powers, nothing but tech from Wakanda, to give him the abilities that he has, is going to lead a team of powerful godlike individuals, some of them, into battle against God Emperor Doom, or whatever they're going to be calling him, if it's going to be God Emperor Doom, or if he's going to be going by Rabam Allah, or whatever the fuck it's going to be. But you're now wanting, you're trying to get us to believe all these things about Sam and everything like that. It's not that I'm not going for Sam, because I am going for Sam. I would love to. Or not going for Sam. I would love to say that I'm going for Sam, but I'm not going necessarily to see Sam Wilson. Damn, I messed up my screen somehow. Anyway, I'm not necessarily going to see Sam Wilson. Again, I would take the educated guess that a lot of people are not. People are going to see it for the Red Hulk. And if you look again at the promotion, there was a poster that they put up that Sam wasn't in. It wasn't even a poster. It was like a cardboard cutout, but it was of the Red Hulk, and it was promotion for Brave New World. Where is the cardboard cutout of Sam? I can tell you where it is. It's not made, because no one is checking for a cardboard cutout of Sam Wilson as Captain America. He had a lot, in my opinion, Anthony Mackie's character of Sam Wilson had a lot more character and a lot more aura about himself when he was Falcon, when he was on the left. And I'm not saying I just want him, the black guy, as the sidekick, but when something's not broke, don't fix that. He was great where he was. And I want to take it back here to what I was saying about Avengers. Does that not diminish putting him up there with Captain America? Because what we've heard is that Chris Evans is indeed coming back, and we've heard it's for dual roles. Okay, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, so if you don't want things spoiled for you, if you don't want to know what potentially, this is all grain of salt, none of this is official from Marvel Studios, so don't go in thinking, oh, this is just hardcore going to happen. Things can change. Things can be rewritten. This is the current rumor at the moment. The current rumor at the moment is that Chris Evans is going to play a dual role. And in that dual role, he's going to be one on the side of Dr. Doom, Robert Downey Jr., as, of course, Hydra Cap, because Dr. Doom, the current rumor, I don't like this, but the current rumor is that Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom is going through time and getting different variants of the Avengers, but evil versions of them, and that is going to be his Masters of Evil. and things like that. So we'll have an evil Cap, obviously Hydra Cap. You'll have an evil Natasha. I don't know, maybe one that stayed in the Red Room. You'll have an evil Hulk. A lot of people are thinking that's going to be Maestro Hulk. Hulk is that. A lot of people are thinking that's going to kind of feed into the World War Hulk stuff, to where you're going to have, and I'll get into how Thunderbolts branches into that in just a second. That's how you're going to have a World War Hulk type of film. I don't know, with the Maestro or whatever. He'll be one of the leaders of, just like in Secret Wars, the comic, how you had different villains ruling over different fractions of the new battle world. Maestro may be one of those rulers over a fraction of battle world. So you're going to have that. You're going to also maybe have, the evil Hawkeye, an evil version of Thor, and on and on and on and on until you get the OG Avengers helping Doctor Doom, where they all look exactly alike. But the other role that Chris Evans is rumored to be playing is the Nomad role. And if he's playing the Nomad role, and he's going to, and we all know that Nomad is just the name that Captain America took on when he no longer wanted to take on the name of Captain America, that does not then say that he is that the audience is not going to look at Chris Evans on screen with your new Sam Wilson Captain America and be comparing the two. For me, I'm always looking at Chris Evans as Captain America. Just personally, I am. I'm looking at Chris Evans as Cap. I'm looking at Steve Rogers as Cap. I'm not looking at Sam Wilson as Cap. So for me personally, again, I'm not going for that. But how does World War Hulk, and then it goes on to say World War Hulk will set up, and let me explain that as well, how World War Hulk, or how Captain America Brave New World sets up World War Hulk. Again, we've known that he's facing a lot of villains that aren't his. Another one of those villains is the Leader. The Leader is a villain of the Hulks, and again, spoiler, in the post-credit scenes that we've heard, at the end of Brave New World, Sam will go to the raft to visit Thunderbolt Ross, who will be there, visit the Leader, who will be there, and he will talk to him, and then they'll have a conversation within that conversation, the Leader tells him that everything that he did, all the actions that he took within the movie, all the things he did, the places and placements of things that he's made, is because something big is coming. And that something big is supposed to be Hulk, and that's supposed to be, and he's not going to say the Hulk, obviously, but alluding to Hulk coming for World War Hulk. How they set that up, I don't know. I'm not sure. Now, it goes on to say, we'll set up World War Hulk for him, and a few months later, Thunderbolts will be the connective branch for the character's first solo film. How is Thunderbolts the connective branch? Thunderbolts is the connective branch because what we know in Thunderbolts is that Val is creating, or has created, the Sentry. And with the Sentry, the speculation right now is that Val obviously created the Sentry because she knows something. She has intel that something's coming or whatever. So she's got to have her super soldier that can go up against whatever threat may be. And obviously that's going to be Bob. So you've got the Sentry, and that is how you get the Sentry or the Thunderbolts being the connective branch to the first solo film. Because as we know in World War Hulk, one of the biggest complaints about that, whenever that rumor would come out within the MCU, was there were so many players from World War Hulk that you do not have within the MCU. Well, you're starting to get some of those. You're starting to get some. You got Sentry. We're getting the Fantastic Four. The X-Men are coming. So you're getting some of those heroes, and as we know, within the MCU, it's never a panel for panel like it is in the comics. So you'll get, like, Civil War is not Civil War in the comics. Secret Invasion is damn sure not Secret Invasion of the comics. So you'll get whatever MCU version of World War Hulk that it's going to be. But some of the players that were missing are starting to come to the table. So we know he is. We know that what's his name? That George Miller is wanting to come on for World War Hulk and Thor 5. But it goes on to say for Thor 5, it's pretty wild how Marvel boss Kevin Feige hasn't given us a Hulk movie in the MCU yet. I get that it's right. I get that it's a rights issue. It's not a rights issue. That issue was, I believe, resolved. What was that? Beginning of, was it last year or 2022? So it's not a rights issue so much. So it says, anyway, I slowed down the process, but there's honestly nothing that money can't buy when it comes to Disney. They'll nab the rights if they haven't already. The World War Hulk comic follows the tragic death of Hulk's wife, a more powerful Hulk, then vows vengeance against the Illuminati, Earth's mightiest heroes, and wreaks havoc against a wave of Earth's mightiest defenders, taking out a slew of targets on his chaotic path. Now, here's the most interesting intel I gathered from last night. Feige has reached out to numerous directors for World War Hulk, including George Miller, Furiosa. Additionally, George Miller has also shown interest in helming Thor 5, and it's actually his Furiosa star, Chris Hemsworth, who set up the meeting between George and Feige. Now, if you have George Miller working on a World War Hulk type of film, and a lot of people are thinking, have you seen, and we're not going to get into this. I'm not getting into this. I promise you I'm not. A lot of people think, have you seen the rumors about what Spider-Man 4 is rumored to be now with the Punisher and Hulk? I don't even know on that one. There's a lot of conflicting different things out there on Spider-Man 4 right now, to where I need to kind of reel it all in before I can give you an somewhat accurate depiction of what might be going on in Spider-Man 4. Right now, it's all over the place, and I'm not getting into that. But it's moving back to being, I will say this about it, it's moving back to being not multiversal, but cosmic level. Not grounded, cosmic level, still with Andrew and Toby and all that shit, but more cosmic level. And it's moving back to being a potential battle world film. Okay. And that is the same thing with World War Hulk. World War Hulk would be a potential battle world film. And if it's a battle world film and you have George Miller, who's done films like Furiosa and whatever, then you've got a director who has already kind of done that destroyed look. You know, if you look at Furiosa, it's a wasteland. Everything's destroyed and things like that. I would assume that's what Battle World is going to look like, and especially if you've had Hulk come through and wreak havoc on everything. He kind of could fit that. When it comes to Thor, Hemsworth said that he wanted a more serious toned, if he comes back for Thor, which we all know he's coming back for Thor, he wanted a more serious toned Thor. Well, we all wanted a more serious toned Thor. Thor 4, Thor whatever, what was it? Love and Thunder, that shit was ass. So I love Ragnarok. I know the internet tries to convince people that Ragnarok is not a good film. I love Ragnarok. I think Ragnarok was one of the reasons, outside of seeing Thor in Infinity War and Endgame, how the Russos handled him, was one of the reasons that I turned on liking Thor within the MCU, because before I wasn't really too big on Thor in the MCU. I like him in the moments that he's in Age of Ultron and things like that, but Ragnarok was really the film for me that really turned it around on how I felt about Thor in the MCU. So I would like I don't have to have that comedic tone like I had in Ragnarok, but I do want the serious moments in Ragnarok are serious. I would like those serious moments played out in the next Thor or whatever. I would like to leave the girl wherever the fuck she is, love or whatever. I don't like any of that part of it. But that is just a little quick thing on that. I wasn't going to read all of that at all, but once we know more, I'll go into that more. Right now, I don't know enough. There's not enough out on it. But once we know more, then I'll go more in on that. Let's see. What are the comments on that? Let's see. D-Sizzle said, I'll always defend Comic Sam. Mackie ain't good enough. Comic Sam with the powers. Yes. Pozo said, Winter Soldier is top 5 Marvel movies. Can't beat that. Sam Wilson. Yeah, Winter Soldier is definitely, it's in my top 3. I love Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is just it's in a lane of its own. Winter Soldier is phenomenal. Love it. Greeners and Thrag said, Hulk's my favorite character besides T'Challa. I hope they do my guy right. All his powers and abilities. The rights issue's been resolved with Hulk. Yeah, as I said, that's been resolved. DR said they need to let BP style on the Fantastic Four. I don't believe, as I said last night, I don't believe he's going to be in Fantastic Four. Now, things are subject to change, obviously, but I don't believe he's going to be in Fantastic Four. Just quickly here, because I don't even really want to go too deep into this. When is my other stream supposed to start? I'm supposed to do a stream with other content creators today, too. But if I am... Anyway, I'm good. Pretty sure I'm good. Anyway, just a quick on this, because I haven't talked to you guys in a spell, so I would love to kind of just tell you what I do know if you don't already know. And if you do know, just pretend like you don't. But what's going on with the Fantastic Four is a lot. From what we know right now, the universe that they are in is... the universe that they are in is a different universe. It is a 60s universe, but it may not be what we're thinking. They are not... Again, rumors, grain of salt, nothing's official from Marvel Studios. They're not originally from that universe. Originally, unless I'm getting this wrong, they are from our universe. They are from the 616 or 999, whichever one you want to call it. They are from the main MCU timeline universe. The only one that knows that they are not from that universe is Reed. I don't know if he has brainwashed the rest of the team, because we've even heard that something in the film, the team is going to have a spat and split up. And what we've heard is that the revelation of what's really going on is why they kind of separate for the time being within the film. So from what we've heard, the universe that they are in may not even be the universe that they are exactly from. They may be from the main MCU timeline, but something has pushed them, or whatever Reed knows. The Council of Reeds is even rumored to be in this. Whatever Reed knows has pushed them for him to move his family to this universe. Now, the arrival of Galactus is the birth of Franklin Richards, to where I believe Galactus, from, again, grain of salt, is the one that tells everyone, none of you are from this universe. This shit's not real. I'm here for the kid, blah, 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 blah. Franklin is supposed to be in Secret Wars and Avengers Doomsdays. We know that, again, remember, Marvel is, we've heard from Daniel R.P.K. and a few others, Marvel is looking at a 13-year-old actor to portray him, 13, 14-year-old actor to portray him in the next two Avengers films. So whatever they're doing with that is, with the Fantastic Four, the universe they're in is not even a real universe. What we also know about that universe is they are the only heroes in that universe, and that they are established as they're celebrities and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. But I don't believe there would be a T'Challa or any other heroes from what we know right now within that universe with the Fantastic Four. So the Fantastic Four does come out still in July as of now. Again, I don't think Marvel's changing that. And we should get our first trailer for Jurassic World and Fantastic Four at the Super Bowl next month. So we'll see how that goes. Gray said, so we're going to see The Maker 2. That's in there. That's in there. That they were looking at The Maker to be one of the variants that we'll see as a part of the Council of Reeds. So yeah. The Maker's in there too. The Maker is in there as well. Ramar said, that's interesting, but not original in my view. Typical Marvel. This sounds sort of like synopsis to Infinity War. Yeah. D-Sizzle said Galactus, a dimensional hopper or something. From what we know about Galactus is, I don't think this is even the Galactus. This is a variant. Wait a minute. No. Don't get me lying, because I don't think that there are multiples of Galactus. Even in Marvel Comics, there is only one Galactus. Am I right? I'm pretty sure in Marvel Comics, correct me if I'm wrong, there's only one Galactus. I'm trying to remember how that rumor went without having to go and pull this up. I think because they have fought Galactus before, from the rumor that we've heard. This is not their first time fighting Galactus. Yes, I remember. Chi-Town, I remember. I was going to back up to that before I started the T'Challa stuff here in just a second. So yeah, I think they had fought Galactus before. But as far as the dimensional hopper, in a way, yes. Yeah. From what the rumor was saying, he will be able to go from, or at least the Galactus that's within this universe. Because I think there's another Galactus in the main MCU universe, I believe, is what they were saying. The Galactus within this universe, because even his herald is obviously Julia Gardner's Shalaba. So, the Galactus of this universe, yes. I don't believe he's a dimensional hopper. He's just the one that's in this universe that comes to try to get Franklin. So yeah, no, not a dimensional hopper, just the one that's within this universe, if I'm remembering that correctly. There's only one Galactus in the multiverse, but this is the MCU. Yeah. Okay, let me go back up really quickly here. Okay, Chi-Town sent me a very generous $5 super chat, which I appreciate very much, where he said, Darius, have you heard from Damson Idris lately as far as the film roles? Do you think he was the guy that turned it down? Love the show, Damson T'Challa. Thank you so much for that. I've never personally talked to Damson. I would love to, but I've never personally talked to Damson. I just had my Marvel source that told, and I say Marvel source, we've talked about other things. Me and my Marvel source they had told me some things about Fantastic Four that I don't think I can share, so I won't. But it's not a lot that we talk about like that. Like, if there's some T'Challa news, then I will go and ask, or if there's something that, they've heard, they'll come and tell me. But the last thing that I was told about all of this is that, again, there was a reason Damson turned down the role for Green Lantern. There's a reason Marvel, we're starting to hear from people like New Rockstars, Jeff Snyder, and we're starting to see a major shift in people believing that T'Challa should be recasted where they didn't believe this 2 months ago. We're starting to see all these shifts and changes because there is a shift happening, and Damson may be a part of that shift. Now, is he the one that they are keen eye on? I don't know. Again, my source that told me when we talked about this last was that it is still the same plan. They're looking at Damson Idris. Have they had conversations with Damson? I'm sure they have. Is it anything official? Obviously, I don't know. Do I think he was the one that turned it down? No, I really have a hard time believing that report too. Now, let's get into all that here quickly. Let me see when I'm supposed to do that. 1 second. What time is that supposed to be? Okay. I have a hard time believing that report here. So let's go ahead and pull that report up where they said that. Thought I had that up already. All right. So the Direct put this article out. It says Marvel Studios recasting T'Challa 4 years after Chadwick Boseman's passing, rumor report. Now, obviously, this is coming from the hot mic over with John Roca and Jeff Snyder, but they go on to say Marvel may be ready to recast Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa, the Black Panther, 4 years after the late actor's death. Boseman appeared in the MCU from 2016 to 2019 as Marvel Comics' iconic Wakandan warrior. However, his time with the franchise was tragically cut short after he sadly passed away at the age of 43 following the private years long battle with colon cancer. Boseman's death sent shockwaves to the entertainment world, a date that is still honored by many in Hollywood, prompting Marvel to shift plans for its then upcoming Black Panther sequel film. This eventually led to the studios to release a big screen celebration of the actor in the form of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This not only set up the next generation of MCU Wakandan storytelling, but also honored Boseman and his on-screen character. Marvel reportedly recasting Black Panther. A new report seemingly shed light on potential plans to recast Black Panther in the MCU, bringing a new actor to play T'Challa in the super-powered franchise. According to insider Jeff Snyder, the door is firmly open as Marvel Studios looks for a new actor to bring T'Challa to life on the big screen. Then Jeff says, with Marvel reshuffling the deck in advance of Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and Robert Downey Jr. coming back not as Iron Man but as Dr. Doom, I am told that the door is firmly open for T'Challa to be recasted via the magic of the multiverse. Now I'm just going to put a pin really quickly there. We have been I want to say, and I just let me make sure that I want to get I don't have to get the correct date. I want to say it was maybe, again, 4 years, 2021, right before. It was when Marvel made the decision that they were not going to recast. And then once we started our YouTube channel in 2020, late 2021, a little after No Way Home, we put out our first video of should Marvel recast T'Challa, blah, 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 blah. From the very first video, with my opinions still remaining the same as they did 4 years ago, with those videos that got put out, the comment section on all of my recast videos you'll find things where I'm being called misogynistic, things where I'm being called disrespectful, where it's we're not honoring Chadwick Boseman. It's bigger than you. You're a crybaby. You fanboy. It's about a mantle. You don't know anything about Marvel. You don't know anything about this character. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you don't like it, make your own thing. And the list goes on and on and on and on. And the many, many different arguments that have been hurled our way, or things that have been said to us, things that have been whatever. We were told that we were on the wrong side of history. We were told that. I remember seeing tweets from people saying that I cannot wait when years from now, when we look back on recast T'Challa, how wrong you guys all were, and things like that, and blah 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 blah, this, that, and the third. Here we are, and I do want to say I don't want to. Actually, I really don't give a fuck how it comes off. If I sound big-headed to you, then okay. If I sound angry to you, then okay. If I sound bitter, or if I sound whatever, however it comes off to you, if that's how you take it, run with it. I remember saying just a few months ago, if Marvel is going to recast T'Challa, we'll start hearing things around it as it gets closer to Avengers Doomsday, especially with the Russos now being attached to this, with the Russos not arguably, but being the ones to bring in T'Challa and do him better than everybody who loves Ryan Coogler. All the Coogler lovers out there that are like, oh, Ryan Coogler did so good with T'Challa by stripping his genius, by killing him, by not just once, 1, 2, 3 times, all the things that So Coogler to me did not do what the Russos, and I'm not getting into that, but Coogler to me did not do what the Russos did with T'Challa when he was introduced in Civil War. T'Challa in Civil War had his genius. T'Challa in Civil War could hand-to-hand combat you without the motherfucking suit on, and he did that to Bucky. T'Challa in Civil War was crafty, like the shit he did with the tunnel scene where he's running after Bucky on foot. That's how fast just everything, all of the things that T'Challa is in comics. I feel like the Russos did a pretty good job of displaying that in Civil War. Ryan Coogler, different story. So when he got introduced then, and we got to see him on screen, for the very first time and things like that, I've been saying we were going to start seeing casting rumors around this time. Because as we get closer, there's no way that people are going to be like, you know, if they are really going to recast T'Challa, and this is the multiverse, as I've been saying, and we've all been saying, this is the multiverse. Even when we said, even in arguments to other people, when we would say, it's the multiverse, they can do this, they can do that. No, it's disrespectful. They don't need to bring in a multiversal T'Challa. I don't want to see a multiversal T'Challa. Now all of a sudden, everybody's on board with a multiversal T'Challa. Now all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, why didn't Marvel recast a long time ago? Now all of a sudden, it's no longer disrespectful. Now all of a sudden, we're not talking about this child. Now all of a sudden, no one's mentioning Letitia Wright's feelings or her as Shuri. Have you seen any tweets about Shuri in the last few days? I haven't. Not one. Not one tweet have I seen about Shuri in the last few days. And you want to know why we haven't seen any tweets about Shuri in the last few days? Is because every fucking argument that every one of these anti-recasters stood on was hollow from the beginning. You never cared about Shuri. You never cared about Letitia Wright's feelings. You never cared about the cast and crew. You only went with that fucking narrative. It's because Marvel fed that bullshit to you in 2020 when they got on stage and said, we are not recasting the character. So like the shills you all bent the goddamn knee and said, you know what, that makes sense. Although we've never seen this done before in comic book history, because Marvel is telling us that they shouldn't recast the black character, we're all going to bend the knee and believe that shit, and we're just going to run with that shit. So you ran with the shit for 4 years. You pulled out ignorant fucking arguments that you couldn't stand on. You couldn't back up with facts because you don't know shit about this character. The only thing that these anti-recasters ever knew about this character was what they were taught from the MCU. Because they were introduced to this character through the MCU. But as I've said many times when it comes to T'Challa and recasting T'Challa, there are layers to this conversation. There is this base level surface layer of this conversation that is recast him and put it in the MCU. But as I've said many times, T'Challa is bigger than the Marvel Cinematic. It's bigger than putting him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Recasting him goes bigger than just having him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. One of the things that I really, really appreciate from some of the content creators that are speaking about this, some of the white content creators that are speaking about this, i.e. Josh over at Den of Nerds, and now John didn't say the thing that Josh said, but John has also been on the side of recast from day one as well. Josh over at Den of Nerds said, this is not, and we've all said this. We've said this before. We've said it, and when we've said this before, we've been called crazy. We've been called, stop making it about race. Stop this, stop that. It's always been about race. You may not want to see it. Your privilege may keep you blinded from seeing it, but it's always been about race. Not only is this a Marvel issue, this is a black issue. And I appreciate Josh over at Den of Nerds saying, hey, don't just listen to me because I'm a white Polish guy talking about the black character that was introduced in the 60s for black folks, for the black community, for black representation. You want to hear why you should recast T'Challa? Go listen to the black voices that are creating content on this platform that are telling you why you should recast T'Challa, and it's bigger than just having him in the fucking MCU. So with all that, we were told, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, and now all of a sudden it's just, we're good, bro. It's good. Recast T'Challa, and don't get me wrong. Am I happy about that? Of course I am. I've been campaigning this shit for 4 years. I'm going to continue to campaign it until Marvel officially comes out, because this is not official. This ain't official. This is Jeff Snyder saying what a lot of other scoopers have said too. He's going to come back. He's going to come back. He's going to come back. So until it's official from Marvel, it doesn't mean shit, but we've been saying this forever. We needed the character put back in the MCU for X, Y, and Z, but it's bigger than the MCU, as I've said. What I'm getting into. Representation. Why that representation matters. Why this character who is the black character. Everybody keeps saying, I saw tweets, ignorant tweets. Again, the same ignorant motherfuckers that be on Twitter just tweeting. Just tweeting for the sake of fucking tweeting. Just tweeting to join the conversation. That's what you're doing. You're tweeting to join the conversation you know nothing about. I saw someone say Everybody's so quick to rally behind recasting T'Challa. Meanwhile, there's a black character about to take the screen and no one's rallying behind him. Let me explain something to you. In order for me to rally behind a derivative black character, we need to put the black character back on screen, because for that derivative black character to even have the wings, no pun intended, that he has, T'Challa first had to walk so that motherfucker could fly. All the black characters that you see in the MCU, all the black characters that you see, superheroes that you see, even in DC, after that guy, after that black character, after this guy. Without this guy, there is no black characters. This guy was created for representation purposes. I've said this many, many times. Maybe we got new eyes. Maybe we got new ears. Maybe we got some people that need to be educated today. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, in the height of the civil rights movement, when driving around in their vehicles, looking at all these black kids reading their comic books, Stan Lee had a revelation, or Jack Kirby had a revelation. Aha! I got all these people reading my comics, these black kids reading my comics, but none of these characters look like them. Your president, the one that y'all love so much, Kevin fucking Feige, even said in the interview with Black Tree TV, when Black Tree TV asked him, just recently, this was during Deadpool and Wolverine's promotion, because they were comparing Deadpool and Wolverine's success and the hype around it with the hype around Black Panther. And I want to get into that hype thing in just a second, because there was some more ignorant shit said on Twitter that I want to address. Put a pin in the hype for just a second. Go back to what I was saying. Kevin Feige, who y'all love so much, did the interview with Black Tree TV where they compared the success and the hype and blah, blah, blah. One of the things that Kevin Feige said in that interview was he loved the promotion and the things surrounding the first Black Panther, because he said, when I would go to the films as a kid, I could see the posters and see people that look like me and blah, blah, blah. But my favorite reaction was seeing all the kids going up to the movie poster and all the pictures being taken with the movie poster and all the people saying to themselves, oh, I see myself. Chill showed that, it's a video I had saved, but it got deleted, and I wish I still had it. He showed a video of these weren't kids, these were grown adults outside of the Black Panther theater with the poster, with the cardboard cutout. He was filming it, and he said, wow. It was a whole bunch of black folks. Wow. This is what y'all must feel like all the time. Is this what it feels like to be represented? Is this what it feels like to see yourself? So for Kevin Feige to have that, to be able to see that his favorite moment during the Black Panther promotion was all the people taking pictures with posters, comparing the posters, seeing themselves in the posters, something that he said that he could relate to because he was able to do that as a child. But he said that he never realized, he didn't really realize that black kids really can't do that because there's not a lot of posters that look like them. There's not a lot of heroes that look like them. So even he had that understanding. Even he knows, okay, but even with that understanding, he still did what he did and made the decision that they made. But neither here nor there, we've talked about it. Even he understands that representation fucking matters. So that's why that character was created, for representation purposes. He was also created not as a sidekick, not as a derivative character, not with the background and tropes that normally come attached with a black character. He was regal. He was strong. He was a king. He was an Ivy League scholar. He was proficient in every fucking form of martial arts. He was what every black kid wanted to be. He was our Superman. So yes, when it comes to this topic, when it comes to talking about recasting T'Challa, it is not just simply a Marvel issue. It is not just so simple as, let's just put him in the next film. It is not just so simple as, stop crying and this and that and he'll be back. It is so much deeper. For those of you that like to say it's not that deep, to whom is it not that deep? It is so much deeper than your Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is deeper than that because the character is deeper than that. And now on that part, on the hype part and why the character is deeper than that, I had got a tweet that I had quote retweeted, and let me get actually, you know what? Let me pull that here. Pull it here. A tweet that I had quote retweeted that said, Idris Elba had tweeted, "I kept telling y'all Wakanda Forever wasn't the massive hit the studio thought it was going to be. So the rumors about them recasting T'Challa not aging up the child or using a variant are true, but probably because they realize the franchise needs its central character back." Then you get the ignorance from people on Twitter, or they realize that they made a premature decision based on a real tragic event, which that's not irrational here at the beginning, which I do realize. I do think that, of course. Do I think that Marvel understands that, hey, we fucked up? Hey, we made a stupid decision. We made a decision that should have never been made. We led with our feelings instead of sitting back and rationally thinking about what this would do to the franchise, how this would make people feel, how this would make Chad feel. Everybody likes to talk about Chadwick Boseman. Just another pin in this really quick. For those of you that don't know, maybe again, like I said, new eyes, new ears, I don't know. Chadwick Boseman himself, his brother, his niece, his family have all said he would want the role to continue. I'm not going to go any further than that. If you want to look that up, you can look that up yourself. It's all over the internet. Typically, when people like myself are arguing with people like this on Twitter, that is used, it turns into crickets because we have video evidence. We have the multiple interviews his brother has done. We've got the screenshotted conversation that his niece had. We've got the videos that Chadwick Boseman in interviews he has done. So you can go look those things up for yourself. That is ammunition that is used every single time, and every single time it's used, what do we get? Crickets. Nobody's saying anything. No one can go against that, because what do you then say when the actor that you are defending so hard, the person that you're saying so hard that is so disrespectful to, what do you do when that same motherfucker comes back to you and hits you with your own shit and says he's been saying in interviews and things like that from the past that he would want the role to continue. He wants it to be a passing of the baton. He doesn't want a role, any role, to just stop with him. That's how you get ignorant shit like Cynthia Erivo as Storm. That's how you get people like saying that stupid ignorant shit like that. Because I saw someone even say, Darius, how's that correlate? I'm gonna tell you. I saw someone even say they should just cast Denzel Washington as Black Panther. He's one of the greatest. He's the best black actor of all time. As I told you, I'm watching YouTubers. It's this weird phenomenon on YouTube right now where a lot of different YouTubers are watching black classic films, and some of them, I think the Cinepals, Jabby, I think the Cinepals, I think theirs is authentic. They were the first ones I've seen reacting to black films. I think theirs is really authentic, and I really like the conversations, the nuanced conversations they have in between, while watching, at the end, things like that. So I think theirs is authentic, but there are others out there, other YouTubers out there that I believe are farming for views, are doing this because it's a trend right now to react to black films and things like that and blah blah blah. I don't know what it's for. Are you wanting to learn something about it? I don't know. But while watching a lot of these people react to these black films, when an iconic black figure from within our community comes on stage, or there is a black, something that we understand, like lines from another movie or Color Purple stuff or whatever it might be, just understanding certain things that we within the community understand, it goes over their heads. They don't get it. And it's not I'm not saying that's anybody's fault or anything like that. But what I'm saying is when a popular, like Gladys Knight came on, somebody was watching a Medea film, and Gladys Knight came on, or when they were watching Set It Off, and you had Vivica A. Fox in there, and you had Blair Underwood and some other notable, obviously Jada Pinkett Smith, Queen Latifah, the notable black actors that come on screen. Sometimes they just don't know who they are, and I'm thinking to myself, this just plays into that whole Cynthia, even the dude saying it is Denzel. It's because they don't know black faces. They only know the black faces that are propped up in Hollywood. And it's the same black faces that are passed over and over and over and over. So they can never, ever see someone like Stephen James, or see someone like, because I've even seen people saying, who's Damson Idris? Like, they can't see someone else as these people, as these characters, They're only looking at the black faces they know because we all just look alike to them. It's just like, oh, well, just that's a black person. That's a black face. Use him. Let's throw him on there. That's a black face. Throw her on there. So it's really annoying. Yeah, it's really annoying. So when let me continue here on this. He says, stop pushing agendas. There was no way Wakanda Forever was or would be as big a hit as Black Panther, even with T'Challa. The latter was a phenomenon that can't be replicated. Now, I've seen some people telling me that it's lightning in a bottle. That could only be done once. There was no way that you could repeat the success of the first Black Panther because it was just magic. It was a cultural phenomenon. It was this, it was that, and it was all of those things. But for you to say that you don't believe, let me see, somebody else told me, hold on. Somebody else told me. I don't think people understand how BP was extremely lightning in a bottle. It was a cultural phenomenon that had never been done before. Civil War with T'Challa, Iron Man, and Spider-Man didn't even crack 1.3 billion. BP1 was an anomaly, with several factors compounding into it. An anomaly. All right, let me tell you why y'all are wrong. Let me tell you why you're wrong. BP1 was all those things. It was a cultural phenomenon. It was lightning. It was this. It was that. The difference that they mentioned here, Civil War had all those people and it still couldn't do that because Civil War didn't have the black dollar backing it. We sometimes, I think, forget the importance and how powerful the mighty black dollar truly is. How much our culture dictates. I think we forget that sometimes. Motherfuckers want to be us. I think we forget that sometimes. I saw a video of these Asian people. I think it might have been, I don't know where they were. It was an Asian drumline team, and they had the band, the marching band, and everything. They were doing the whole just like the black colleges that they do, and all that. They were, because they want to be us. Everybody wants to be us. So for people to say that you don't think that it would crack that 1.3 billion again, I think you're wrong. I saw the film 16 individual times with 16 different groups of people. The 16th time I saw it, for those of you that, again, new eyes, new ears, I don't know. For those of you that don't know, I coached AAU basketball. At that time, I was a part of Nike Pro Skills. So I was coaching my freshman team and my sophomore team. But my 8th grade team and my freshman team. So we still had sophomores, juniors, and we had a 17U senior team. We canceled practice. I've coached AAU basketball for 13 years. Competitive as shit. Got the trophies and everything else to prove that we were one of the top teams here in Oklahoma. Never, ever, 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 in the 13 years of me coaching, did we ever cancel practice? It had to have been something major for us to cancel practice. Like we live in Oklahoma, so we're akin to tornadoes. Like tornadoes, they happen. People go on their porch and watch them. Like unless, depending on where you live in Oklahoma, you can really be affected by them. But even in a tornado warning, sirens blazing. Yeah, practice. We got practice today. Show up. So we had never canceled practice. I showed up to the gym that day, and our director had said, "Oh, we're going to go on. We're going to take the program. The program. We rented out a theater, and we're taking the program to see Black Panther." Now, mind you, each team had about 10 to 12 kids on it. Some of those kids were hardcore Marvel fans. Some of them like, "Oh yeah, I've seen all the Marvel movies." Some of them didn't know who or what a T'Challa was, who or what. Some of them thought like Black Panther's like the 60s, like civil rights, Black Panther, like, and this was we had some white kids. We had some white kids on the team, obviously, things like that, but it was predominantly black. Again, my 16th time seeing it, so I didn't really sit in the theater the entire time because I had seen Black Panther over and over and over and over. Those kids were glued to the television. Bro, I'm talking, we had it rented out, so I'm talking like up on the seat, like, oh my God. Those kids that didn't know who, what, when, where, or why a T'Challa was, left wanting to know more about who, what, when, where, and why, who this character is. Why was he created? I want to know more. I want to see more. My mother, who isn't a Marvel fan, who isn't a Star Wars fan, but has supported my sci-fi weirdness loving ass all my life, doesn't give a shit about any of it, went and saw the Black Panther in theaters and wanted to know more, wanted to see more. Actually, because of that, at my old house, I had still at this house too, I have my living room is like a movie theater. I have a 100-inch screen, TV, projector, everything like that. She came over, we binged the Infinity Saga. My mama has never cared about shit like that. Asking me questions, wanting to know more. You had people within the Black community that, again, didn't know shit about Marvel, didn't know shit about the Black Panther, T'Challa, that were going in droves. People were taking their grandparents, their aunties, their cousins, what have you. And it wasn't just the Black community, even though it was our dollar. It was our cultural phenomenon that really pushed that 1.3 billion. But you had them white folks glued to it too. I remember the reports of people saying, oh, my white kid is getting teased at school because he wants to dress up as the Black Panther and this and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it was a cultural phenomenon, yes. But you can't tell me that you can't reach that same 1.3 billion again out of the pure interest and new fandom that brought that the first Black Panther film brought to the character into that franchise. So you can say, oh, it's an anomaly, it's a lightning in a bottle, they can't do that again, it can never be replicated. You don't know that. You don't know that. And we'll never be able to see that because any hype that all these new fans, that all these new people that got to go see the first one, any hype or excitement that they did have instantly died when they learned that this one, no woman, no, it's a funeral. So the fun and the excitement and the Black empowerment that I felt in the first one, why the fuck would I want to go sit in a funeral and feel that? There were stories coming out of people saying I had just lost my son or to cancer or this or that, and sitting in that film brought all those emotions back up to me. One of my co-hosts at the time, Kellen, had lost his sister. His sister had passed, and we had went and saw the film, and when we reviewed the film, he talked about how he had to, I didn't know his sister passed. He had to deal with that. He was dealing with that while watching that, how that brought back up those feelings and that emotion. Who in their right motherfucking mind wants to sit down in a Marvel film and feel any of those motherfucking emotions throughout the film? Because his death wasn't the only death. So, you can't say that it wouldn't have been that same $1.3 billion that this was. And yeah, whoever, and I didn't have my phone up because I don't have the comments on the screens like that because the screens are too small for me to see the comments. Whoever Vervi is that wants to spam, please keep doing that. I love it. I love that you're spamming the crying. I love that you're in here engaging. I love that you are a part of this conversation. I love that you feel the need to be so much a part of this conversation that you have put that in there, over now 15, 20 times. Please keep doing that. And if you have friends that you would like to come and join so they can hear this good word too, get this good preaching too, please bring them on over too. You're learning something today. You may not like what you're hearing, but your ass is learning something today, and you're engaged enough to still fucking be here. All right, let's see what this part. Let me bring it back to this, to reel it back in here really quickly to this part. Okay. This part says, because they continued, he remarked that the studio was up to this point somewhat hesitant to recast Chadwick Boseman's Marvel character for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. The studio notably promoted Letitia Wright's Shuri to the role of Black Panther. However, thanks to potential or some multiversal shenanigans in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever making significantly less. Well, yeah, when you have a funeral juxtaposed to a celebration, what the first one was, you're gonna make significantly less. And people like to tell you, oh, it wasn't the bomb that it was. It was. And then it goes on to say, less than the first Black Panther film in box office, feelings that the Hollywood giant may have changed. Snyder went as far to say, I heard that an actor was actually offered the role this past fall, but they turned it down, not wanting to jeopardize their career momentum by stepping into the Boseman's gigantic shoes. I just don't believe that. And the reason I do not believe that, what Marcus said last night made sense about the person they could have approached was, if it was Michael B. Jordan, how Michael B. Jordan having the relationship he had with Chad and having the relationship, probably privy to the relationship that he has with the Washingtons, and even John David, knowing the relationship that he had with his father, and that his father paid for his acting school and things like that. I could see that being two options that maybe he might have turned it down. But this person said, by not wanting to step into Boseman's gigantic shoes. So if you are, actually it's fine. So if you are, if you're saying not wanting to step in Boseman's gigantic, I'm sorry, I can't, hold on. By not wanting to step in Boseman's gigantic shoes, I just have a hard time believing it. I do, because I don't know any black actor that's not gonna want to come in and cut their teeth on this role. I don't know any black actor outside of the Michael B. Jordan thing. Makes sense. That makes a hell of a lot of sense. But I don't believe Michael B. Jordan was the one that they asked. And I know what Marcus said last night about the whole making sense, because we know the rumor of Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom looking to possibly, recruit different Avengers that all look the same and things like that, and blah, 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 blah. And, having maybe him come in as Killmonger. I don't know. I don't believe Michael B. Jordan was the one they offered it to. So I don't truly believe that they offered it to someone. I think that was just thrown in there. Even when Roka asked Snyder, would you like to share? He's like, no, I'm not going to share. I don't think he knows at all, because I don't think anybody was offered that. I don't think that I think they might have someone in mind, but I don't think whoever it was they offered, I don't think they turned it down. I just don't. We have to get away from this idea that only one person can play this role, and that Chadwick Boseman's portrayal of T'Challa is just the end all be all. How do you know that the next person that comes in is not going to be better than what Chadwick Boseman did? I know that some of you might think, oh, blasphemy, disrespectful, how dare you? Listen, this might be controversial too. I don't care. Chadwick Boseman did an okay job playing T'Challa. But we cannot say that he is the best to play T'Challa, because we have nothing to compare that to. I can't say, well, Chadwick Boseman did this in the role and I really loved what he did in the role, but I really loved how Aldous did this, or I really loved how Damson did this, or I really loved how whoever, insert name here, did this. You can't do that. I can do that with Superman. I can do that with Batman. I can do that with the Joker. I can do that with Spider-Man. I can tell you how Andrew Garfield is my favorite Spider-Man, and I love what Tom Holland does with it, how he brings this and this and that, and I can't do that with T'Challa. So you can't simply say that Boseman has these gigantic shoes that have to be filled. It's just moving on to the next character. It's the next person picking up that baton that Boseman himself has talked about laying or passing on, and they just continue the roles. We got to stop this whole thing like the shoes are too gigantic and nobody can do it and blah, 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 blah. I use this all the time. I remember in 2008, the cries, how everybody was saying how Heath Ledger, the Brokeback Mountain guy, the guy from Brokeback Mountain's gonna be the Joker. And look at us today. He is, to this day, that performance is revered as the best performance of the Clown Prince of Darkness that has ever been on screen. Then it goes on to say, I'm not gonna read that part where he said that, but he said he seems to think someone will eventually say yes to the role, seeing the opportunity as a way to honor the late great superhero actor by turning it into a performance worthy of standard set by Boseman. It's unclear whether T'Challa will appear in Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret War. He will. I strongly believe that one. It's just what's going to happen in Black Panther 3 is my question. Snyder posted adding that it's fair to assume that whoever is cast as the character will reprise the role in Black Panther 3. Now, it's unclear whether T'Challa will appear in Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars, but I think it's fair to assume that whoever is casting the character will reprise the role in Black Panther 3, which has been discussed by everyone from Ryan Coogler to Denzel Washington. Then it goes on to say, is recasting T'Challa a good idea? If this report proves to be true, Marvel Studios is going to have to It's going to have a delicate dance. To embark on with not just fans, but the stars that make up these films as well. And I'm wrong, I think, on that. Again, if the Fast and Furious team can still to this day go on to make Fast 19 without Paul Walker, and they had been making several Fast films with Paul Walker, and they are still bringing themselves to work to do their jobs as actors, then I would think that the rest of them can still do their jobs as actors and put that behind them. And yeah, no one's telling you can't feel. Again, new eyes, new ears. I don't know. No one's telling you can't feel. No one's being insensitive. No one's telling the cast not to mourn. Hell, just 2 months ago in October, Lupita was on stage crying again, and that's no one's telling her to stop crying. No one's holding anything against her. Yes, that's fine. Feel that way. That's okay. Feel that way. But at the end of the day, if you can't bring yourself to do your job, these are things we've said. Again, I say this all the time. It's not like a broken record talking about the recast of T'Challa stuff, because we say the same things time and time and time and time again, over and over and over. So, it's a broken record thing. But we'll move to the next thing. He says, the making of Black Panther Wakanda Forever was noted to be a cathartic experience for the cast and crew, as this bunch of MCU creatives had to find a way to honor the legacy of both T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman himself. Read more about the emotional making of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I'm not going to do. So, we know that Marvel made the wrong decision in not wanting to recast T'Challa when they decided to make that announcement in 2020. We know that since then it has been nothing but it's been 5 years, and we still haven't, or 4 years, 4 or 5 years, and we still haven't seen this character on screen. It's been nothing but I'm rapping now, chill. It's been nothing but turmoil for this franchise. As I've said in other streams, I don't believe that this franchise, in order for this franchise to have life again, you have to recast T'Challa. And in order for you to recast T'Challa, if the current cast and crew cannot get behind a new face coming in to portray T'Challa, then they all got to go too. I've said that many times. This is comic book material. This is fiction. If you can suspend your belief with a talking raccoon and a talking tree and a purple giant going around stealing stones to eliminate half the population, then you can suspend that same goddamn belief and understand that that character that they buried doesn't have to be dead, and it doesn't have to necessarily make sense in the real world of how they bring him back. This is fiction. This is sci-fi. Anything can be said and anything can be done. So you can bring this character back. I necessarily don't want a variant, but I'm not going to get into all that. You don't necessarily have to do all of that. Anything can be done to bring this character back. So that is really it on that article there. And I did go over a little because I'm supposed to be joining in on that stream, with them. So I'm going to go join on that stream with Chill. Again, I appreciate every single one of you being here, even the ones that were in the stream. I'm going through these comments now. Again, you guys know when I stream or when I'm on a topic currently, I'm not looking at the comments or anything like that. But no, I see, and Brian Fisher, I appreciate that super too. I'm seeing that. Not Cynthia as damn storm. Fuck no, I appreciate that super chat from you. But yeah, no, I see the ones even in here that were hating. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of the things being said, coming in. Just the fact that you were here, the fact that you were one of the eyes that I don't think. Let me break it down this way. That's a better understanding. I was watching Snoop Dogg was on the Arsenio Hall show. Snoop Dogg posted on Instagram a compilation of different videos from the Arsenio Hall show from the 80s, and he showed one of the clips where he was on there. And he was talking about how the mayor of at the time, I guess, of California was trying to, send a message to not listen to Snoop, not listen to his raps and things like that. But while doing so, went out and bought 50 copies of his CD just to run it over on the news. That's essentially what these dumbasses are doing. I don't think that you understand that when you come in here and you are giving me those eyes and you're giving me that attention, you're giving me that money. Give me that money. Give me my money. You're giving me that money, baby. So that's fine with me. You can come in here, you can yell at me, you can make all the comments you want, but those eyes, that attention you're giving, that retention, that stream time, that helps me out over here on my bank account. So please, that's why I implore it. I implore for you to come in with your friends, with your loved ones, whoever else you want to come in and give me that attention. At the end of the month, YouTube gives me all that back, so I appreciate it. So anyway, I appreciate every single one of you being here in this stream with me today. Haters, loved ones, day ones, every single one of you, I appreciate it. I am going to now go hop in the stream over with a bunch of other content creators. Chill is going to be there, and I think he's got some other people lined up as well. So we are going to be talking more about the recast. So maybe those same haters will come join over in that one, and we can continue that there. And maybe we can put some money in some other niggas' pockets too, because there's going to be some other brothers there, so we can put some money in their pockets too. So again, we appreciate it. As always, if you're new here, like, subscribe, share with your friends. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.
Save T'Challa, we need a recast. Chat would agree, and I truly believe that. Stories untold, I pray that we get to unfold. Don't kill him, we don't need to see that. A black man is king, I think that is crucial. If not for the grown-ups, the kids should move you. Representation, let it multiply. Stop telling the stories how legacies die. We can explore the world of Wakanda by addition and not replacement. 1.3 billion, how was that? And I'm making a statement. Being pigeonholed to a role like there could be only one is deflating. Man, it's a mindset that ain't died yet, cause of lack of seeing our faces. Shuri can be the queen of the nation. Women should feast, we want elevation. Now wouldn't it be dope if they rose up together without doing something as cold as erasing them? We got respect for Ryan and Nate. They doing their best, they stuck in the middle, but I hope they think about what is at stake. Don't rush it, but please let the saga continue. Doubling down on Black Death is a trope we no longer want to handle. Wakanda forever, T'Challa forever. It's never been about the mantle. What is we saying? This ain't about Phantom and getting my way. It's all for the love, it's not for the hate. No matter what people are trying to say, we cast T'Challa. We cast T'Challa.